Pratham, I've realized something really disturbing. Time. It's the most valuable thing we have, and yet nobody actually knows what exactly it is, as we've spoken about in our previous episode.
What's even worse is that most people don't even seem to care. You ask someone what is time, and they just point at their watch like that explains anything, right?
Exactly. It's kind of like asking, what is music? And someone shows you their Spotify playlist. Spotify is a tool, right? It's not the concept of music itself.
Exactly.
For example, when Albert Einstein considered the definition of time, he stated for himself it to be something that is measured by a clock, which I completely agree and stand by.
Of course, it's true in every way that he's like.
Yeah, because it's a human concept.
No, and it is something that is measured by a clock, even logically.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, the more famously known Edward Witten,
the star of our show, our favorite.
He's our favorite. He thought that time is just a constantly evolving, beautiful embryo that humans need to just kindle and let grow, right?
Yeah, he definitely did not say that. It's a nice joke. Like, not a nice joke, it's a dad joke. But yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah, enough about Edward Witten. We love you, Edward. But we use time constantly to plan meetings, to cook that 2-minute Maggie that we want, or watch brain rot, or Arnav uses
Cocomelon.
No, I was going to say Arnav uses it to watch Cocomelon, but never stop to think. We never stop to think about really whether time is a thing that we move through or if it's just an illusion that's been cooked up by our brains.
Yeah. Okay, let's rewind a bit. Let's start simple, back to the basics.
Yeah.
In daily life, time feels like a river. It flows and ebbs. Right?
Yeah.
The past flows into the present. The present flows into the future. We can't go backwards. We can't stop and we can't see what's ahead.
Yeah, but that river picture is just like a human impression. Physics isn't tied to our impressions. Physics just says, show me the math. And in the math, especially in relativity, that river metaphor just breaks down.
Breaks down entirely. Yeah. Because relativity merges time and space into one 4-dimensional fabric called space-time. Time basically stops being a universal ticking clock. It becomes just another coordinate like left, right, up, down, etc. It's just your 4th dimension. That's it. By the way, that space-time thing was exactly timed right. But here's where it actually gets mind-bending. The laws of physics don't care about the difference between what is the past or what is the future. Mathematically, they just work fine, even backwards, right? You could reverse every particle's motion and the equations would still make sense. And that's symmetry, like whether you CPT symmetry. That's a mathematical symmetry where whether you reverse it or you keep it the same, it still works, like as in a mirror. Yeah. And that technical term is, as you said, CPT symmetry, which we've done an entire video, an episode on, called charge parity time, CPT symmetry. Basically, it means from the point of view of the equations, there's no one arrow. It's not one way, it's not unidirectional, it's bidirectional. Yeah. Maybe. The arrow that we might feel to be unidirectional may not be built into the universe, it might be built into us. Yeah. It's just our problem that we can't see the other direction of that arrow. It's a double-sided arrow, reversible reaction in chemistry. And Albert Einstein's big party trick was basically killing this idea of a universal now that we have, like now in time. Before relativity, people just thought there was one master clock. The Big Bang. Yeah, that was ticking everywhere in the universe. And it was the same for everyone who was in the universe. But relativity comes along and says, no, Arnav's clock and my clock can disagree and they can both be right. Time isn't absolute, it's personal. Yeah, it's relative, yeah. For example, very widely known example or thought experiment that Albert Einstein had when he was working in a patent office. Two lightning bolts strike opposite ends of a moving train. It's moving considerably fast. It's like Japanese maglev bullet train kind of stuff. And someone standing on the platform sees both of those lightning bolts happen at the same time. So it's simultaneous for the person off the train. On the platform, correct. On the platform. But someone on the train sees one of the strikes happening before the other simply because time is relative. Now you can work this out, you can ask ChatGPT if you want and it will give you a detailed explanation, which we don't want to delve too deep into the maths because we don't have a so-called whiteboard where we can write it down and explain, but you get the idea.
That's a good idea for next time, actually.
I mean, yeah, okay, I have a whiteboard.
Let's get a board
Fair.
next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this phenomenon of just both the lightning bolts not being seen at the same time is not because anyone is really wrong. It's just because simultaneity itself is relative.
Yeah.
Your now might be my 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, it all depends
2
on our
seconds
relative
forward.
speeds.
Depends.
All
Yeah.
depends on our relative speeds. So that makes you ask if your or our everyone's now
Yeah.
is relative. Is the present even real in a deep, fundamental way? Or is it just a convenience? Like, it's a human construct. Time is a human construct, right? Maybe.
Maybe.
Is it just a convenience for brains, the human brain, where it can't comprehend it, maybe?
Yeah. Philosophers have been wrestling with this idea forever.
And philosophers and wrestling in the same sentence. Never heard of that before.
Our physics teacher used to say that philosophers have written books and books, thick books about time and the nature of time and whatever it entails. So it just shows you how they have been really
How
struggling.
much we know about it, but yet also how less we know about it.
Yeah, and we've been struggling with this idea forever, since the time of Heraclitus or whatever Greek philosopher you want to name. But they have, one of the theories they've come up with is this theory of presentism, and it says that only the present exists, the past is gone, and the future is imaginary. So it's only the present.
Deep.
Yeah.
Then there's eternalism, basically the block universe, kind of like Minecraft vibes.
No, not Minecraft vibes.
Okay, not really, but you get the idea where basically the past, the present, and the future, they all exist equally. Time is just another dimension, it's the fourth dimension basically, and you don't destroy today, you don't destroy yesterday by moving to today in time, as in you're moving through time
Yeah,
from past to present.
correct.
You don't destroy the past when
Yeah.
you're in the present, just as much as you don't destroy Paris when you move to London, for example, for a vacation.
Yeah, so all of it is just kind of
They all
predefined.
exist at the same time.
Yeah, and it's
You're
already
just
here.
moving through them.
And relativity leans towards this kind of a block universe. It's basically like the universe is a giant DVD with every frame of the movie, or which is every moment in history, in our history.
Like a film roll kind of thing.
Yeah, you can literally,
Comparison.
for those people who have seen film rolls or people who are actually old enough,
Like you.
okay, they could really see the individual
Frame
frames.
on each film.
Yeah, so basically what a video or motion picture or a movie is.
Like
just-
how frame rate works.
Yeah, it is just a bunch of images stitched together so fast that your brain comprehends it as
Must see
motion.
it, yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. So, this idea of the block universe, it basically says that this universe is a giant DVD with every frame of the movie, which is every moment in our history.
Like ranging from Albert Einstein making that stuff and thinking about his thought experiments in his patent office or anywhere,
Yeah,
to us in this podcast telling you about that.
probably.
Different moments of history, all of them, they're all existing all at once. They're all in that film, written
Yeah.
down, ready just to be played for us. We just experience it in sequence.
Yeah, and which means my most awkward teenage moments of when I sadly slipped on a banana peel is still out there in space time, which is a little frightening, I guess.
Thanks for that comforting thought for the rest of the world, at least. It's funny.
But why do we feel that time is just flowing if it's all there? At least according to the block universe, if it's
Right, it's just there. So how
Yeah.
do we go through it then?
yeah,
That's because our brains are obsessed with this idea of cause and effect. Correlation versus causation, causality basically.
yeah,
We can obviously remember, at least most of them, other than people who don't have amnesia, we can remember events that we call our past,
Yeah.
right? Because they happened and we know they happened. We were there.
That's correct.
But we can't remember our future ones because they haven't happened yet, right?
Yeah,
That's an asymmetrical feature kind of thing, because one thing you can, one thing you can't remember. That asymmetry gives us the feeling that we're moving forward in time.
yeah. Just think of it as a flip book.
Perfect analogy. Perfect.
Basically, the whole book exists, but you can only see one page at a time. And the brain is like your finger, which is just flipping through the pages, and it gives you the illusion of motion.
Yeah.
But it's not exactly motion. It's everything's already there. Leave it to
Yeah, like a drawing of a lion jumping, for example, or anything.
Yeah.
A ball bouncing. In a flip book, that's not actually, the ball's not moving, you're perceiving it with your eyes because of the delay in your eyes, and I'll explain that a bit later.
It's a lot of bio,
But
yeah.
That leads to the illusion of motion, frame rates, FPS. Like for example, movies today have this term called movie magic, right? Where motion blur is used because of the 24 frames per second standard, because it's deeply ingrained in how viewers watch the movie. And that specific motion blur caused by 24 frames per second is that thing called movie magic. And coming back to the actual point now, back to movies, neuroscientists have also found that even the present, it's a mental construction because, as I said earlier, your brain takes time to process the information that's related to it by your eyes.
Yeah.
By like 15 to 30 milliseconds, so not a lot, but
Yeah.
still a not negligible amount. And it takes that time to integrate that sensory data. So by the time that brain is integrating one frame, the next frame pops up, and that gives you that illusion of motion as we spoke about.
Yeah.
And so you're now, like for us, is already a memory by the time you're aware of it by that 15 to 30 milliseconds at least.
Yeah, this isn't.
So you're living in the past, technically.
This
We are living in
isn't
the past.
just modern physics. The Greeks were already tearing their hair out over time already, right?
I mean, yeah, Heraclitus, as you said earlier, you mentioned him about as being a Greek philosopher. He basically said everything is changed. You can't step in the same river twice because the river is constantly moving, right?
Yeah.
It's not the same water. It's a new influx, constant inflow of water, right? So you can't step in the same river twice, because you're not in the same place, in the same location, in the same water, basically.
At the same
time. Exactly. And then Parmenides,
sorry for that.
I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, but I think it's right. Parmenides said change is an illusion and reality is timeless. Basically, the modern version of what he said is change is the only constant, where this is the quote that people use in like all their English essays in ICSE and IB, change is the only constant.
And then this guy called Zeno comes in with his own paradox, where Achilles can never really catch a tortoise if the tortoise has a head start.
Yeah,
because
he's still issue on his part.
He's just always closing half the remaining distance. And this really makes you question motion itself. I mean, you can really go on to Google and learn a lot more about that. But
yeah, just look up.
This was just the Zeno's paradox in a nutshell.
Yeah, so just look it up and you'll get more info about it. We've actually spoken about it once in some episode before. I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
Okay. Spoiler, it has been solved with calculus, but the basic idea, it's Holy Spirit still remains.
Cosmic, bro,
Cosmic. The motion and time that we perceive, these concepts aren't as obvious as they seem. There's a lot of deeper, unknown stuff, hidden stuff, hidden harmonies that lie behind this.
Okay, so like speaking of your deeper, unknown stuff
and more paradoxes.
Yeah, we come to the Andromeda paradox.
Okay, it's another thought experiment.
Yeah.
Basically, two people, then like spaceships or whatever vessels, that doesn't matter. Even if they're Usain Bolts, they're running so fast, they're running at different speeds basically. That's the point. They can disagree about what's happening right now in the Andromeda galaxy, for example. That's why it's named the Andromeda paradox, after the Andromeda galaxy. For example, for one of them, the alien fleet of spaceships that is ready to attack Earth, that's already launched. For the other person, they haven't even held the meeting to plan the launch. So these two very different times, different perspectives, all these opinions of sorts are both perfectly valid and right.
And this is without any sort of sci-fi. It's just because of the geometry of space-time, which hints to us that the future is as real as the past.
Exactly, that's the whole point. Another idea, term, is time dilation. So if the faster you travel, or the closer you travel to the speed of light, time slows down for you. If you're at the speed of light, time as a concept ceases to exist, basically.
Yeah.
Now, if let's delve deeper, let's explain it a bit more. We hop in, both of us, okay? Okay, not both of us, only me.
Okay.
I hop in on a spaceship. I crank it up to 99.999. Not that much. 99.999% the speed of light.
Okay.
And I go for what feels like for me. It's for me. I'm 17 right now. I go for the 5-year round trip. Okay, I come back at 22. For me, my watch, my body, my time. But you're at home on Earth.
Chilling.
You're chilling. You're bing chilling. Netflix and chill.
No,
Okay.
but okay.
Yeah, not Netflix and chill. You're a nerd, but yeah. I'll be listening to my 5 years of space road trip playlists, which is very chill. But back on Earth, for you, things look wildly different because of, as Einstein predicted or created or like formulated, his time dilation formula. The faster I would go, the more time stretches for everyone
Who's
other than me, watching me, like you. So at my speed of 99.999 exactly, my time stretch factor, which is called gamma, as we learned about, it's around 224.
So basically, one of your years is like 224 years for me.
Exactly. So if I do that, since it's a 5-year
Multiply.
round trip, that means I have to do for me, 5 years would be your 5 into 224, around 1118 years on Earth. Well, I've only felt 5. So when I get back, you're probably dead, unless you're Tom Cruise, because that guy doesn't age. And civilizations may have risen and fallen, and my Spotify account password definitely expired. But thankfully I have premium, so I can listen to songs offline for those 5 years. But yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah.
It's a lot. My 5 years at the speed, close to the speed of light, are 1118 years for someone on Earth.
And remember, this is just forward travel.
And this is real math. This is proven. This would happen if I would actually go the speed of light. This is real.
Even in Arnav's case, at 99.999% the speed of light, he's still traveling forward in time.
Correct.
And even in my case, I'm still traveling forward in time. So relativity does it for free for us. But the concept of something like backwards travel, that's a whole another beast, right?
Yeah, because Einstein's equations allow stuff like closed time-like curves. Basically, loops in space-time.
Yeah.
But you immediately run into the grandfather paradox. Learn. So if you basically stop your grandparents from meeting, or basically somehow, if you weren't born, you stop your grandfather from existing by killing him. How does your dad and mom, how do they meet?
Yeah,
how do they form? You are not born, basically. How would you vanish, basically?
Yeah.
The well-known grandfather paradox.
Yeah. And one of the possible solutions that has been posed in recent times is called the Novikov principle.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it basically says that you can go back as much as you want.
Okay.
But you can't change events in a way that creates a paradox.
Okay.
Because you were always part of the past. This is one solution that has been posed.
Yeah, but point is that even if you can't change events, I mean, who's going to stop me from, if I really wanted to, if I could time travel, there's nothing stopping me from time traveling and, let's say, killing my grandfather. There's no, sequence of events that can just, forces me to not do that, right?
That's true.
Because you can still change the event if you really want.
Yeah, but what if it's like the Avengers Endgame thing where
it was destined to happen?
No, what if you travel back in time, but the past that you travel to becomes your present?
Past. Yeah.
That becomes your present. So that creates even more complexity. That is another thing. Or another one is like the many worlds idea, where you can create a new branch of reality instead of just altering the original or the only one that you thought exists.
Yeah, kind of like if you watched Loki. I know you've not watched, I'm talking to you viewer. If they watched Loki, the sacred timeline is the so-called the one branch that we thought existed. But every time you create a new branch, that's a new decision that the person makes that separates the timelines and creates new alternate universes kind of thing.
Yeah.
In this entire multiverse, which the TVA was trying to stop, and that's why they were pruning those branches. Not that you're understanding any of what this.
I've seen a Veritasm video where he explains somewhat.
I'm talking about the Loki stuff.
I don't care about the Loki.
Yeah, exactly.
He explains something somewhat similar. Basically, with each decision or action that you take, which might be down to, you say, the micro.
Yeah, a Caltech professor.
A microsecond or whatever it is. So, each decision or action that you take, it splits the universe into a different stream.
into a copy basically where everything up to that point was exactly the
Yeah.
same.
And
And
now
then
you're creating your
your
own.
that one different decision has created two or more splits,
Yeah.
copies.
So you might think that because of the amount of decisions that
Showing us can. Literally.
maybe trillions of life forms on the planet take, and not just on this planet. Who knows? There may be someone outside.
Mars. Fermi paradox.
Episode 40.
Solved maybe.
Check that out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
NASA.
Who knows? But yeah, because of the trillions of decisions being taken almost every second, you would imagine that the number would be countless or infinite.
Yeah.
But spoiler alert, it's not. It's somewhat countable. Maybe if
At least according to that Caltech.
check that
professor.
Veritasium video out
Yeah.
as well.
So, anyways,
Coming back.
Yeah. Some physicists suspect that time isn't fundamental at all. In quantum gravity, for example.
Yeah.
Which is something that we are not going to talk about right now.
It's not proven yet.
Yeah. You can, for example, write the equations without even mentioning time. I mean, maybe they're just lazy.
Maybe
they
time is an NPC. Who knows?
maybe time just emerges from the way the events are related and it's not a fundamental property.
Yeah. Maybe it's like temperature, which is like meaningless for one atom, but real for a larger group.
Yeah, cause it is average kinetic energy of a group of particles.
Yeah.
Right? Fair enough. Yeah, so maybe time is like that.
Yeah, maybe time is just a large scale property and it's not a basic ingredient.
Yeah, it's not a key ingredient. It's not a raw material.
Okay.
It's not a primary color. If the block universe or the Minecraft universe, as we like to call it, and at least I like to call it,
No.
the future is already there. So maybe we're just puppets. Do we even have free will or consciousness?
Maybe, or maybe we don't. Who knows? Or maybe our choices are just part of the larger four-dimensional structure. It's not less real. It's just fixed in a way that we can't see it.
So basically, it's real, but we can't control it.
Yeah.
We're still puppets. That's either comforting or horrifying, depending on how your week's going, I guess.
Yeah, time isn't just a physics curiosity. It shapes how we think about life and death, which is why we have created this idea of philosophysics, right? We contemplate life's biggest questions and also delve into
series
some
hinges on it.
interesting physics.
Yeah. Because if all moments exist, like in the block universe, as in the flip book that you mentioned,
Yes.
every page of the flip book is drawn. It's all there. It all exists. We're just going through it once, like in one sequence, right? But your happiest days or your like good parts of the flip book, like the parts you like of the flip book, they're still out there. Even the worst ones too, like the bad drawings, are still out there.
Depends. If you believe in fate, then they truly are.
If only the present exists, on the other hand, then life is constantly being created anew. It's kind of like a flip book is being drawn. Every time you take a new decision, it's being drawn in. So you first do that, and then it's drawn in, and then again you do it. Every choice matters a lot. Infinitely.
Yeah.
Every little minute detail.
So either way, basically understanding time changes how you see the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Even if your train still leaves at 8 a.m.
Yeah, except my flight leaves at 2 p.m.